Yo, 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 yo. It is your boy David from Top Bunk Sports. Now, I got a two-part video. Well, not a two-part video. It's mostly two games in one, I should say. But before I get into the video, I just want to, give an update. I've been a little bit under the weather, as you guys could probably tell from my voice. So there's not much. I didn't really cover Denver's game in terms of a post game, and I didn't really put no highlights of the Detroit Pistons game. Probably the best because they got state. Yeah, wasn't the best. I mean, this way you could kind of give a reason for. Everybody was hurt. OG was out. Cat was out. Deuce obviously out. Deuce, we could talk about that another time. Deuce McBride is officially out for the rest of the season with the hernia, and yeah. So that's a heartbreaker, right? But we'll get into the positive of that. But first, I want to cover game by game. The first game that I want to cover, obviously, is the Denver Nuggets and the Knicks. Knicks will pull out a double overtime win, 134 to 127. And by all stretch of the imagination, that game was back and forth. And I've always said that when it came to the Denver Nuggets, the Knicks find ways to stay with them. This is a former NBA championship team. This is a team that when you look at them, that by every stretch of the imagination, they are one of the top teams in the Western Conference. They do what they have to do to take care of business. And no matter what it is, this Knicks team always finds a way to stay with them. They always find a way to give 100%, and it's always an offensive performance from both teams, right? But this game, it was just back and forth, straight back and forth, no matter what it was. And you got to commend that from both teams. You got to commend it from the Knicks, because I understand that when it comes to the Knicks, man, they are simply just taking care. They're just taking care of business, man. That's what it is. They were on a momentum in this 8-game winning streak that they were just playing excellent basketball, right? They were moving the basketball, they were being aggressive, they were shooting better. They had better shot selection, right? They had better shot selection. It didn't matter what it was. Everybody was playing together. Everybody was playing for the team, and they've been playing for the best of their ability within this 8-game winning streak. And again, it's like I spoke about it in my last video. The main culprit of that is everybody doing the right thing, right? Everybody playing to their strengths. I mean, Cat is one of them. We saw how much he struggled, right? Finding his identity, finding his groove, finding the Cat that was there last year, right? We were asking, where's the 2025 Cat? Where's the Cat that we saw dominate in the playoffs? Where's the Cat that we saw shut everybody up when it came to his struggles, right? Where is that Cat? Can't find him. But it's finally taking him to accept a new role, into where now he's kind of looking at it from a standpoint of, and I hate always talking about it because I feel like almost every video I talk about Cat, but it's taking him to kind of understand that Mike Rowe has him playing a different position, not only for him. And then when I mean different position, I mean I don't mean the literal position that he's playing in terms of the court. I'm talking about within the team, and how his effect in a positive role plays for the team. How his position goes into making the team better, making himself better, and that's playing with facilitation first and then scoring. Finding his facilitation within the team, so then that way his scoring can come later, if that kind of makes sense. So there's a lot of aspects to it. I gotta commend him for that, because that's one of the things that we were wondering, like, he's not doing much of anything, so now that he's kind of found it, it's working. You're seeing a much aggressive Josh Hart not hesitating. And obviously before he got hurt, Josh Hart was playing really good basketball, man, being aggressive, making the extra pass, shooting the ball with confidence from the 3-point line, doing it all. And that's what you love from Josh Hart, right? Josh Hart is very criticized in terms of his not even his IQ, just his shot making, right? So thank God for that. Mikal Bridges being on and off, right? Being on and off, but doing what he needs to do on the defensive side, right? Right now, you can't question Mikal Bridges on the defensive side. It's what he's doing on the offensive side that has people kind of like, all right, we have one game where Mikal is shooting good from the field goal, but then he has these other games where he's just non-existent on offense, and you're lucky that you have guys like Cat and JB playing the way that they're playing. So, the OG Anunoby playing his best basketball, right? OG Anunoby playing the best basketball that he's played in a really long time as a New York Knick. And then obviously Jalen Brunson doing what he did. Jalen Brunson tonight, against the Nuggets took over. And I wanna show you guys the box score, so we got kind of just go over that real quick. But he took over, man. He took over with no problem whatsoever. Jalen Brunson took care of business, and again, it took him putting the team on his back to really, really give the Knicks a sense of boost, a sense of urgency at least. I mean, look, this game was back and forth. You see in the first quarter, right here in the box score in the middle top, Denver led the first quarter by 2. Then the Knicks led the second quarter by 3, excuse me. No, by 4, excuse me. Then I said, yeah, then New York led the third quarter. Denver led the fourth quarter. Here we go in overtime. Here we go in overtime. Uh, Knicks led the Knicks led over the first overtime. Like it was back and forth. It was back and forth to say the least. Then you go here to the game leaders, right? Jamal Murray and JB were trading buckets to the max. Jamal Murray finishing with 39 points, while Jalen Brunson finished 42 points, 14 of 27 from the field. It was a big night for Jokic. You look at Jokic's box score real quick, right? Jokic played a hell of a game. 30 points, 10 of 27 from the field, so it could have been a little better. But 10 of 27 from the field, he was 1 of 13 from 3. He couldn't hit shit from 3. The fact that he took 13 attempts was crazy enough. He was 14 rebounds, 10 assists, so having a triple-double, again, that must suck though. When you have a triple-double and you completely just couldn't grab the win for the team. I mean, putting the team on his back, doing what he needed to do, and it just wasn't able to do anything he could. Just wasn't being able to do anything that he could. But you go down to the Knicks. The Knicks, again, OG Anunoby, 20 points, 7 of 17 from the field, could have been a little bit better, but 4 of 9 from 3, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He was a plus 13 in point differential. Again, continuing his hot start, and you love to see it. Karl-Anthony Towns, a big game. A big game. I talk about it all the time. I talk about Karl-Anthony Towns being able to be a difference maker. And again, yes, a lot of people, and I spoke about this with Eddie in his Knicks Edition post-game show after this game, like Karl-Anthony Towns always plays well against Denver. But you want to know, that could have been used against him if he didn't. This guy played so well against Denver, but tonight, he didn't show up, whatever. That could have been used against him, right? Knowing basketball fans, knowing Knicks fans, knowing the media, like that could have been used against him to the max. So when you look at this performance, again, we talk about Karl-Anthony Towns coming back to form. We talk about Karl-Anthony Towns playing a different role with the Knicks. 24 points, 9 of 13 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. Could have been a little bit better, but again, you like the rest of the stats. Perfect from the free throw line, 12 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover. He was a plus 12 in point differential. You love to see it because it could have, Nikola Jokic is not a good defender. However, it could have been a nasty night for Karl-Anthony Towns, and it wasn't. Why? Because he knows how to play well against his team, and he's been on a momentum right now that the Knicks can't stop. Well, before this injury, who knows what this laceration injury does to him, but you love to see the fact that he's aggressive. You love to see the fact that he's trusting his teammates in doing what he needs to do to take care of business. So you like that. Again, but you keep going down. You keep going down the box score. Mikal Bridges. Again, I spoke about Mikal Mikhail's doing this. What Mikhail is doing is simply this: up and down, up and down. And at some point, you want him to find his consistency scoring wise. Defensively, I've always said it. Defensively, he knows he's not someone to fuck with. But this shit, knowing that you can score the ball, knowing that you can create space, that's got to stop. And if I'm Mike Brown, I have to figure out ways to involve him. I really do. 5 first-round picks, you're held to a higher standard than anybody else. You are. And nobody's gonna have that conversation, but that's the honest truth. Mikal Bridges is held to a higher standard because of that trade. I don't care what anybody has to tell me. I will fight that. I will fight that. Those 5 picks, I understand people are like, oh, we gotta stop talking about those picks. No, we don't gotta stop talking about those picks because those picks were important. Those picks could have got you a Giannis Antetokounmpo on the trade deadline if the Bucks were willing to trade. Hell, if the Bucks weren't willing to trade, we'd be looking forward to the summer after this season. Why? Because now you use those 5 picks plus the 2 picks that you're going to get in the summer to go out there and get a Giannis even more. Because what do the Bucks want? They want draft picks. They know they're not going anywhere. And if the way to build in this league is by draft picks, then that's what we have to go out there and we got to build on. And that's what the Bucks are capitalizing. This is why they have already announced what they wanted. So the Knicks could have been in that position with those 5 first-round picks. It's all gone now with Mikal Bridges on this team. He's not performing like a guy that was worth giving up 5 first-round picks. It's the honest truth. I know everybody hates talking about it. It's the honest truth. It's the honest truth. Jordan Clarkson, I'm not going to give too much. I know he was a -4 point differential, but I'm not going to give too much on Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson has been a DMP for the last couple of games. Do I know why? No. Do I know that he's a defensive liability? I understand that. I understand that Mike Brown has a vision in terms of trying to get these guys in a defensive, trying to get his best players, his best defenders on the court at all times. I understand that. But at some point, you're going to need these guys consistently in the playoffs. Jordan Clarkson is a vet. Jordan Clarkson is a 6th man of the year, right? Jordan Clarkson has played on veteran teams like the Lakers and like the Utah Jazz, has made a name for himself as a Utah Jazz and has been to the playoffs with the Jazz and has played with Donovan Mitchell, and they've done some great things when they were with the Utah Jazz. Jordan Clarkson knows what it takes to be in this league and to play in this league. Jordan Clarkson needs more playing time because you signed him on a 1-year deal to upgrade your bench and to be that piece to elevate your bench. So when he's not playing because it's lack of defense, that's fine. That's fine. But give him 5-6 minutes. Let him be that spark off the bench when Diawara is out there, when Deuce is out there, when he's healthy, when Hakordi's out there, right? When Mikal is playing with the bench, put him out there. Let him be that difference maker when he can be. Because the guy that I saw shooting those clutch threes against San Antonio in the NBA Cup championship game, I don't see him anymore because the opportunity isn't there. I don't care what nobody says. Like I said, I understand that Mike Brown is putting the best lineup in terms of defense that he can. I get that. But Jordan Clarkson can't be that bad to where you're DNPing him almost every night. Because if it wasn't for injuries, he would not be playing. Let's be real. So shout out to Jordan Clarkson, man. And then obviously Jalen Brunson doing what he did. 42 points, a master class from Jalen Brunson. 14 of 27 from the field. He was 5 of 12 from 3. Could be better, right? But he was nice from the line. He was 8 rebounds, 9 assists. He was 2 rebounds away and 1 more assist away from getting his first career triple-double. And I was itching for it. I was calling it. Jalen Brunson needed that triple-double. I was so calling for it, bro. So calling for it. Shout out to Jalen Brunson, man, putting the team on his back, doing what captains do, man. My guy. And you look at the bench, Mitchell Robinson, 10 points, 5 of 5 from the field goal, 1 steal, 1 block. He was a +3 in point differential. Landry Shamet, 36 minutes, 16 points, 6 of 15 from the field, 4 of 10 from 3. Could be a little bit better, but he was a +22. Why? Defense, baby. Defense matters. Defense matters. Making stops, defense matters. This is why Landry Shamet is getting more minutes. This is why. And again, while I'm taking cover for Jordan Clarkson, I'm also going to give the reason as to why Landry Shamet has more minutes than Jordan Clarkson. Is because one can't play consistent defense and the other one can't. It's as simple as that. Knicks fans are going to talk about the same thing. I'm probably regurgitating the same exact thing that you hear Knicks fans talk about. Because, like I said, Jordan Clarkson is a veteran. Jordan Clarkson has proven that he could play in this league, but so has Landry Shamet. And right now, it's who's going to give me the better minutes. And right now, it's Landry Shamet. That's all that it is. That's legitimately all that it is. But you know what I want to do before we get into the next game. And again, I think the next game is a little harder. So I want to be able to at least play some highlights from this game before we talk about the Detroit game. Because I didn't post no highlights from the Detroit game. So that one, that one is just me based going off what I saw and some stats. And there's, like I said, there's a cop out for the Detroit game. But let's take a look at what we saw. Obviously,
taking advantage of his first start of the year. Yeah. A good clip this year, but Karl Anthony Towns, well, he shows him how it's done with a long distance triple. And a sterling start for New York. It's 8-0. A 3-game stretch in 4 days. They played the Thunder, the Pistons, and now the Knicks. Clarkson buries a corner three, taking advantage of
Give him more time, you get shots like that. Look at Kevin McCullers Jr., man, getting some playing time.
James Harden going from the Clippers to Cleveland. James Harden going from the Clippers to Cleveland.
And that's one of the best guards in the league, Jamal Murray, right there. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Got Diawara.
Diawara from deep. That's good.
Coming back from injury. Yo, I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Mohamed Diawara, dude. I saw something on Twitter a couple of days ago where, somebody was saying, like, I think it was Mill. I think so. Shout out to my sis Mill Media. Make sure y'all go follow her, man. Mill Sports Media. That's sis right there. It's gang. I think it was her that went on Twitter and basically said, shout out to Diawara for getting the minutes and doing what he's doing with those minutes on a contending team. Mohamed Diawara was drafted last year. Comes in on a championship team where most guys that are drafted like him barely get any playing time because of that. And it's not about injuries because he's been getting minutes with a full healthy squad. Comes in and the aggressiveness, I'm talking about the guy is willing to make the extra pass, cut, set screens, go get a bucket when he needs to, a one-on-one, being able to shoot the ball with confidence. Mohamed Diawara, if his development goes right, which I know it will, Mohamed Diawara is going to be a star on this team, and you can bet your fucking ass. If he's not traded in a big trade, Mohamed Diawara can be the next star for this team. I'm being 100% honest. The way that this kid's confident, and again, I'm saying this early so we could check that when it comes in. Mohamed Diawara is certified, but he's a certified bucket, a rookie bucket. Mohamed Diawara knows how to get a bucket, and yes, there are a little bit of flaws on him defensively, some decision makings at times. He's a rookie. That's the best thing about this whole situation. He's a fucking rookie. This kid is just gonna keep doing this. He's gonna keep going up. You love the growth so far. Shout out to Mohamed Diawara, man, doing great things for himself. See right here. Oh, Mitch. Oh my God, Mitchell Robinson.
Knicks have won 7 in a row, their longest since December of 2024 when they won 9 straight. Mitchell Robinson. Knicks have won 7 in a row, their longest since December of 2024 when they won 9 straight. Mitchell Robinson. Robinson blows past him though. Shot clock down to 6. Jokic with 3. Step back. Rejected by Robinson. Knicks have won 7.
Mitchell Robinson is a beast right now. Mitchell Robinson is showing you that when I'm healthy, I am the best center in the NBA. Nobody can touch me. Nobody could touch me. And we're seeing that more because the Knicks are finally time managing him. See, he even said it in a couple games. I think it was last month. They asked him how he felt about that. And he said, yo, if it's working and I'm consistently playing, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. But the Knicks needed to do this a year or 2 years ago with him. Now it's starting to work. Now they're doing it, and it's starting to work. Mitchell Robinson is on the court more. He looks healthier. He looks quicker. He looks more engaged, and you love to see it. We didn't see plays like this 2 years ago because there wasn't much. Now you're seeing it. Shout out to Mitch, man. That's my guy. That's my guy, man. Oh, Cat. This is where Cat went up.
Riveting D now by the
Towns on the attack right away. Looks fine from here. Easy lay with the left hand.
That's awesome.
2 of 2 from 3 and 8 of 10 overall. Towns a trailer 3. Got it.
Trust it. Trust in his shot, man. This is what you want. When he starts to find his 3-point shot, oh my God, it's over. It's over. And then look.
Brown with the push shot off the heel, and Towns gets the rebound. He's going long, and Anobi puts the Knicks in front.
QB Cat, I love it. I love it. Then look in the third quarter. I wasn't bothering him one bit. Easy.
Towns steps through.
Let's look at some more. Man. And then Jalen Brunson went off in the third quarter. Jesus Christ. Jalen Brunson went off in the third quarter. Took over.
Brunson feels the contact, throws it up and in. It's a 7-0 Knick run with a free throw to come by 6. Brunson puts it up again and hits again. Back to back. 7-4. Brunson pull up 3. Jalen Brunson. Points here in the third quarter.
They're very good defense.
Brunson.
I don't care. And then Cat again. Geez.
Kolek has done a good job orchestrating.
And Towns all the way to the rim.
Again, and that was in the fourth quarter, the start of the fourth quarter. But Kolek is always finding Cat. I think that's the issue when it comes to Jalen Brunson, right? And I don't have an issue with it because I do see Jalen Brunson always trying to find Cat. But it seems like everybody's like, with Jalen Brunson, if Cat's not doing anything, Jalen Brunson is going to take it into his own hand and he's going to find it to the next man. Kolek is making sure that Cat's always in position. He's like, yo, you do something with it. I'm not stopping till you do something with it. If you kind of notice that with Kolek and Cat on the court, it always looks like that. But again, and that's not to disparage both of them between Brunson and Cat or whatever. But Kolek finds him just a little bit more. So let's keep it going. Oh, and then oh my Jesus.
Away from a triple double. And I say, Nicola, how'd you play? Average.
Oh,
Easy. With the bounce. Murray driving kick. Jokic. No good on the 3 again. The tip in though. Brown hits the deck and Towns with a rebound.
Oh, stupid.
Brunson into the paint. Easy. To get the Knicks.
Too easy. And then Landry Shamet make.
Brunson has been able to get downhill on Christian Brown throughout the game. Shamet, wide open corner 3. It's good.
Nothing. Like absolutely nothing. And then JB in the second overtime. Oh my God. Confidence, bro. Confidence. Jalen Brunson had the hot hand the entire night. Jesus. Okay, I don't know why he's not playing right now, but the entire night. Oh, here we go.
Job when he's been guarding Murray. He gets over those screens. Brunson hits the pull-up 3.
Then he got up to 40 points. I think this right here sealed the deal, right?
Knicks by 3. Shot clock at 13. Brunson going to work on Brown. Gets some space. Hits the floor.
And that would be all she wrote. Denver would end up losing that. They don't, like I said, they finished off with 127 while the Knicks finished off with 124. Again, let's look at some team stats real quick. The Knicks shot 50% from the field. As a team, they made 18 threes. They had 11 turnovers. So again, the turnovers staying low. Anything between 12. Obviously, anything up to 13 turnovers should be good. If you could keep it up to that, you're good. You're good. They were 50 I said at 50% from the field. They didn't shoot a really good number from three. They were 18 of 50 from three, so 36%. From the free throw line, they were beautiful. They were 16 of 19, 84%, 11 turnovers, like I said, 45 rebounds, 28 assists, 2 blocks. They had 20 points off of turnovers, 46 points in the paint, 22 fast break points, 16 second chance points, 4 steals. Like I mentioned earlier, if you look at I would say the first quarter was okay. Second quarter they were better. They were 10 of 19 from the field. They were 2 of 5 from three. They were 5 of 6 from the field. It's only 2 turnovers. So they had much better second quarter. 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 block. Yeah, much better. Third quarter, they kind of slowed down just a little bit, even though the turnover, they only had 1 turnover. So again, taking care of the basketball better. Fourth quarter, they were kind of trash from the fourth quarter. They only shot 9 of 22 from the field. They were 2-11 from three, and they had 3 turnovers. So they definitely could have made that better. But most of the two to overtimes were first overtime and second overtime, they were decent. Again, they found ways to take care of the basketball and really put this game to bed against a team that could have wiped you out at any moment. So shout out to the New York Knicks. Your player of the game was Jalen Brunson with 42 points, man. Put the team on his back. So shout out to JB. But now that we're done with that game, let's get into the Pistons game. There's not really much for this Pistons game. Guys were hurt. Okay? Guys were hurt. But before I get into that Pistons game, right? Because there's one that I want to get back to. There's something that I want to get back to before the trade deadline was done, and before we got into this Pistons game, we got great news. So obviously, like I mentioned before, Deuce McBride was out. Deuce McBride was out for the rest of the season. It was confirmed by Ian Begley. It was confirmed by Shams, right? That Deuce McBride had a hernia injury and would be out until the playoffs. Hopefully he's better by then, right? Hopefully we don't have to have the news that Jalen Brunson not Jalen Brunson, excuse me, Deuce McBride is hurt and is even more hurt when I say that, and not being able to play on the playoff team and stuff like that, because that would hurt. But how much it would make the Knicks better if you put these two together. Now, if he does come back for the playoffs and you have this guy on his side, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks got Jose Alvarado from the New Orleans Pelicans, a guy that is very similar to Deuce McBride in terms of his defense, his aggression, his quickness. Obviously, Deuce is a better shooter and Deuce is a better playmaker, but you got yourself a dog in Jose Alvarado. Now, here's the full trade, right? I'm going to share this real quick. Here's the full trade. The Knicks are acquiring Jose Alvarado in a trade with the Pelicans. As reported by Ian Begley, the Knicks will trade DeLon Terry, who they recently got, right, from Chicago when they traded Yabusele, and 2 second-round picks to the New Orleans Pelicans in exchange for Alvarado. So, DeLon Terry, who is not bad, to say the least. He is not bad. DeLon Terry is what, like 6'10", I think it was like 6'9", 6'10", but he's a wing. Right, he's a wing. So in terms of trading for DeLon Terry, I kind of see where the Knicks were coming from with Yabusele. I mean, I'm sure they didn't want to trade Yabusele for just anybody, but they were looking at situations where Yabusele, Yabusele looked like he was done. There was no use for him on this team. He was already coming out. You could tell he was disgruntled by tweets that he was liking, reposting about the Knicks aren't using him or whatever. He doesn't look happy. So it was kind of time for the Knicks to kind of get him out there. However, I will say this. The Knicks did a proper job in bringing in DeLon Terry because you got yourself a wing who could play defense. Not as better as Jose Alvarado, but I see what they were doing before the hop. Maybe they had that in the clip already, where they were like, "Yo, let's get somebody that's kind of similar defensively to the guy that we want." And then what we do is we move him to get the guy that we want. Hopefully, we'll attach our second-round picks. Why? Because the Knicks have a lot of second-round picks, and we'll try to get him. And it worked. But I do want, you know what? Now that we're on here, I want to shout out my guy, Pavlov, because he was on the whole thing with Terry before the Knicks traded him, and I want to find it real quick. Just want to find it because he did get a lot of praise for it, and I don't think I saw this tweet until that. Give me 1 second. Let me see. February 5th. It's here somewhere. It's here somewhere. He addressed it. He 100% addressed it. Give me 1 second. It's here somewhere. He addressed it. All right. 1 second, guys. I know. If anything, I should have got this. If I thought about it in the moment, like literally thought about it in the moment. It was here somewhere. Literally here somewhere. He literally did a video about it in December. I don't know where. It has to be somewhere here. Is it here? Here we go. December 22nd, 2025. He literally made a tweet about him. And the Knicks ended up trading for him.
Coming here.
Watch it.
He was on the broadcasting side as well. He's one of the all-time good guys. Josh Hart got Jalen Terry to jump in there and recovered with a second block. Now Bogdanovich inbound to Hart. On his knee.
That's why you play to win the game right there. And Jalen Terry.
He said it from the beginning tonight. He was engaged defensively, and he was here.
Look, and who have I been saying let have the ball all night long? Number 3, Josh Hart.
Trying to D up against him. Here's the step back. Terry contested that three again. The Arizona teammates, Terry and Matherin. Oh, Terry! Coming here.
With his guy, again, a wing that, that is sizable. And look what he says right here. Yabusele makes 5.5. Delon Terry makes 5.4. Delon Terry is getting DNP'd, has a successful relationship with the new Knicks shooting coach, Peter Patton. Terry is known for defensive versatility, can guard 1 through 4, high motor, etc. I've added some stops on Brunson / Hart, as well as Halliburton and Matherin. Decent filler on an expiring young player with size, a 6'7", 7-foot wingspan. Knicks could give Yabusele minutes to Diawara, wipe their hands clean with the experiment, and give themselves a depth defender in perimeter / wing in case of injury. And they ended up trading for him. Now, they got a better defender in Jose Alvarado, but again, that's the crazy part, is that they ended up trading for him knowing what he could do. It was obvious from the start. They wanted defense from the moment. They wanted defense. That's what it was. He brings a defensive presence that helps a lot. Now we go to Jose Alvarado. Thank you, Lefty, by the way. Shout out to you, bro. That was smart. When I saw this the other day, bro, I was like, and it's crazy because I thought when Delon Terry was traded here, I thought everybody's gonna be like, huh? Like who? And then when you put this, I was like, oh shit. Lefty called this out back in December. Before the obviously the conversation around that, we were already like, yo, we gotta get Yabusele out of here. But it could have just been for pennies. This guy, DeLon Wright, it helps anybody on any team when it comes to defense. Any team that needs help on defense. So again, shout out to Papa Left for that one. But yeah, we now go to Jose Alvarado's stats. Again, he's shooting 7.9 points this year with 2.8 rebound, 3.1 assists. He's shooting 41% from the field. You look at his stats. This year, he's playing 21 minutes, right? He's shooting 41%. So everything that I mentioned. But defensively, this kid is a problem. This kid is a fucking problem. Again, the best part about it is that there's more motivation now for this kid because he's coming back home. He's coming back home. He's from the Bronx. He played with Christ the King in Queens. Like this kid feels right at home. It's gonna give him more motivation to play even better. Now he's not playing on a team that's tanking. Now he's playing on a team that's trying to win a chip. They put their chips in you, kid. Now you come here and you're a difference maker. And it was reported that he will be available for the Knicks. He will be available for the Knicks tomorrow against the Celtics. We have an early game tomorrow. So shout out to him. But now that I mentioned that, with the Knicks trading for Jose Alvarado, we get back to this Pistons game. And again, not much to say the least. It was not pretty after the first quarter. The Pistons really gave it to us aggressively. Showed out. I mean, dude, there was nothing. Again, Jalen Brunson had a horrible night, so that didn't help. But you couldn't find another source of offense on this team yesterday against the Detroit Pistons. There was nothing they could do. When your best guys like OG Anunoby and Cat are out, there was really nothing you could do. You weren't gonna get nothing from McHale, and it goes back to what I said before: is the inconsistencies. That's it. That's just all that it was. It's the inconsistencies at all. Like I don't even have to read the stats, the regular stats, for that I usually read when I did when I was talking about Denver, right? How I read the advanced stats. I don't really have to read it because it's not that much. Like I didn't even do well. Like I said, I was under the weather, so I wasn't really feeling well when I was watching this game. But there's not only that I didn't feel well, it pissed me off because, dude, there was nothing to really look at and say, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could critique and I care more about our last game against them because everybody was healthy and we got bitched the fuck up. This game, half of our team was hurt. And JB Bickerstaff even said it. Yo, when they're healthy, they're a really good team. Like they're a problem. And it doesn't matter if this team is healthy or not. Like, the Pistons are gonna give it to us anyways because they want revenge. They circled this game on the calendar. What we did to them last year in the first round of the playoffs, they've made it a point. Like, yo, we might see this team again, and this time we can't let our foot off the gas. We can't. How the Knicks come about that? How the Knicks overcome that? It's gonna be very telling. It's gonna be very telling, but they're no joke. They are no joke, and I hope the Knicks understand that. But again, all I'll do for this game, because it was kind of like a wash, is kind of go over the stats. I'll go over the recap in a way. Well, yeah. Again, Dennis Jenkins violated. He had a really good game. Mikal Bridges had 19 points. 18 points from Jenkins. Jenkins had himself a game. He was doing whatever he wanted. 7 rebounds from Horford, while Tobias Harris led the Detroit Pistons with 6. 5 assists from Jordan Clarkson. Only 2 turnovers, while Cunningham had 7 assists. So Cunningham was trying to get his teammates more involved. And then you see the field goal percentage, 35%, 29 of 82, while the Pistons shot way better, 53%, 44 of 83. I mean, we were horrible from 3. They were 8 of 33, 24%, while the Pistons were 43%, 17 of 40. Free throws, we were good. 15 turnovers. So 15 turnovers. Again, when your turnover number goes higher, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Now, obviously, they had Detroit's 13 turnovers, but most of that was kind of how they were kind of shaky in the first half. In the second half, they picked it up. They really picked it up. So we'll keep going on that one. They led by 43 at one point. That should tell you everything. That should tell you everything. And then you look at the box score. Mohamed Diawara, 4 points. Mitchell Robinson, 4 points. Josh Hart, 5 points before he got hurt. It was minus. All the starters were minus. Mikal Bridges had himself a decent game, but it wasn't enough. He was a minus 28. That just tells you 19 points, 7 to 16. He was 3 to 7 from 3. 3 turnovers. There's nothing much, bro. Nothing much. Everybody on his team was a minus a point differential. There was nothing they can do. Nothing they could do. Then you look at Detroit's box, 15 points from Tobias Harris. He had a tough not, I wouldn't say great game, but it was an okay game, plus 20, plus 21. All the stars from Detroit were plus in point differential. But again, you have Jenkins, who at 18, Jenkins was really the star of the game. 18 points, 7 of 11. He was 3 of 6 from 3. He was a plus 23. A plus 23. So Jenkins just schooled the Knicks. And when he realized they couldn't really stop him, that was all she wrote. But again, there's really nothing much to talk about this game because, like I said, those guys were hurt. Our guys were hurt. Yeah, man. Again, Detroit led every quarter. There's nothing you can do. And when they lead every quarter, you're not winning. You're not winning that game. You're not winning the game. And it's funny because the Knicks and the Detroit Pistons both have really good records at home. Really good records at home. And to me, like like looking at this game, right? The Detroit Pistons have to play the Knicks one more time. Like I'm gonna go to their schedule real quick just to when is the last time the New York Knicks played Detroit? Let me see. Oh, not too far away. We got Boston, Indiana, Philly, right? And then we played Detroit. We played Detroit on the 19th. Guys, this right here, if everybody's healthy, this is really where it's at. This is really where it's at. Because now they're coming home. Now they're coming here. They're coming to MSG. Everybody's healthy. This is where we can at least give them a dose of reality and be like, yo, here you go. Here you go. We're not playing around. We might see this team in the Eastern Conference Finals. For the most part, if we see this team, it's going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, and that's really where I think the Knicks can be like, yo, yeah, took it in the regular season. This is the playoffs, man. This is the playoffs. We've been here before. Y'all just got here last year, and we beat y'all. That's all that it is. And you know, if Detroit does win that game, they get the tiebreaker. But it's gonna come down to everybody being healthy, and the way that they were playing before this 8-game winning streak was ended by the Detroit Pistons is how if they could duplicate that and things could go well. I think this team is already set. And it's just a matter of times of what's going to happen when we get to the playoffs, really, honestly. But really, man, there's really not that much I could really tell you guys. The 8-game winning streak that the Knicks created was ended yesterday by the Detroit Pistons with a few guys hurt from the New York Knicks. Now we go on to Boston tomorrow, and we play Boston at 12:30 on ABC. And we take care of business against Boston. That's going to be a little bit tougher. You know, who knows who's going to be back? We may not see Cap. We may see or we may not see OG Anunoby. We're definitely going to see over Jose Alvarado, so we'll see what impact he makes when he comes back. But that's a tough game. That is a tough game considering that the Celtics are like right there. The Celtics are like right there. So we'll see what happens. But that's a tough game in itself. And then obviously you got Indiana, who you could beat, and you're home, so I think that's a win. And then you got to go back to play Philly, who you beat by 3, 112 to 109 in their home court, and you're going back to their home court they're gonna seek revenge, and it's gonna be a tough one because they're probably circling that. And then you got to play Detroit, which is like I said, that one I'm circling all the way. Then you play a tough team in Houston at home. Go to Chicago. Chicago's kind of been playing really solid. Cleveland with James Harden. So we'll see how that plays. And then Milwaukee, struggling Milwaukee before you got to play a hard San Antonio team that you're 1-1 against. And you're playing that at MSG, so we'll see how that plays out. But, man, that's all that it is, man. A tough schedule coming up. The New York Knicks 8-game winning streak has come to an end, courtesy of the Detroit Pistons. Their next game, like I said, is tomorrow against the Boston Celtics. An early game at 12:30, so make sure you guys are up early for that one. But with that being said, I'm your guy David from Top Bunk Sports. Like I always tell you guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys follow me at Top Bunk Sports on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Top Bunk Sports YouTube channel, and I will check you guys on the next video. Peace out.